Okay, what is up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, obviously I'm going to be going through my Inktober sketchbook for this year. I really wanted to do a sketchbook tour for Inktober just because this is the first year out of many attempts that I've actually completed Inktober, so I am really excited to show you guys everything I did and all of the prompts. If you're not following my Instagram, I posted them every single day, but if you're not, I'm gonna be going through them now for you guys. So here is just a little doodle page of the prompt list that I made so that I don't have to go and find their prompt list over and over and over again every single day. I just wrote it on the first page of my sketchbook to keep things convenient, and I will be going over each and every individual prompt as we get to them, so I'm gonna get straight into it. Obviously, I'm not going to be going into too many details about each piece because there are 31 of them, so that is going to be a lot. But today's, oh my goodness, this is day one. So day one was Hanahaki, and I really wanted to do a redraw of that Naruto one that I did like a few months back, maybe even a year ago. I did one of Naruto, but because I limited myself to only a few colors this month, I decided it would be better to go for like a bit of an original character sort of thing, not really go with too many fan arts, although there will be quite a few in here, just because, again, I gave myself that limited palette. I do break it a few times, but this is when I was like, nope, I'm only gonna use spooky colors for this month. So this is day one, and the prompt was Hanahaki. Again, it's like that flower disease unrequited love thing. So then day two was Stitches, and I knew the minute that I thought of this prompt that I was gonna do like a Frankenstein's monster-esque character, but because my husband told me the day before's post was a little too sad for him, I decided that I would make her a girlfriend, and so that is her. This is actually one of my favorite prompts I did. I actually sketched this one out beforehand in Procreate, and then I brought it into my sketchbook that way, just because when I get prompt ideas that I really like, I'm scared to ruin them in the sketchbook, so I will sketch them beforehand and then use my light box so that I don't mess them up, and I'm glad I did that for this one because she turned out really cute and I love her. So there is that. And day three is another one of my favorites. I'm sorry if I keep moving the page around. I'm trying to figure out what the best way is to display everything for you guys. But, so yeah, this was day three. I knew immediately when I saw it, I was gonna do a type of like blood moon witch sort of thing. So, I didn't think it was going to end up taking this approach until I got to the very end. I was doing all of the line art, and then I ended up, I think I was like gonna do a red moon or something, and then I got the ink around here and was like, oh no. But then I was like, oh yes, and I got the idea to do like a sort of Halo-esque sort of thing, and I just really like her and scooch her up. I don't know what made me decide to add like blood splatters to her arms, but I did, and she ended up being another one of my favorites. So this is day four, and I got real lazy with day four. I actually had a friend's birthday party to go to for this one, and I knew that I was going to be away from home for a few days, and so I worked ahead a little bit, and I knew the minute I saw day four and that it was backstabbed that I had to draw Thor and Loki, because I was, at this point in time, I was obsessed with Loki. I loved him. I didn't get the, 2012 craze where everybody else was in love with Loki because I hadn't seen the Avengers movies. So I didn't get it. I was like, I don't understand what the big deal is, but you guys know when I went to see Endgame that I watched the Thor movies afterwards just because there were so many references that I didn't understand. And then when I finally did, I got a little bit too into Thor. So again, this is just like a little cheeky, lazy-ish sort of prompt. It was just a little doodle thing, but I still really like it just because I love Thor and Loki. So day five, I got a little out of hand. So many of you guys might not know because a lot of you are new subscribers, but the name in my username, obviously Simon, is not my birth name, but it is in fact from Lord of the Flies. So Simon was my favoriteest character from that book. I read it freshman year, was obsessed with it 5 years later, was still talking about it. I really love this book. It's really good. I literally have like so many projects dedicated to Lord of the Flies, so I knew when I did day 5 I wanted to do just like a lot of leaves and have Simon sort of like rustling through them, because I was thinking about the scene right before he, spoiler alert, right before he dies. I don't know what made me think of it, but I knew that that was what I was gonna do, and this is another one of my favorites just because I like how everything came out. It read exactly how I wanted it to, and I really liked the ink washes that I did on this day, because I actually did use ink for this one rather than the watercolor you guys saw in my materials video, because I ended up finding it. But yeah, so I really liked this one. And this is day 6. I'm not going to talk too much about this one just because you guys have seen it already. It was a very quick one. I did this for my materials video, so we will skip right over that one, but I did like doing her. She was really cute. This one, I'm a little upset with how this one turned out, because while I really do like sort of like the drawing, I feel like I could have done it a little bit better. I liked the idea I had, but it still looks like they're her eyes. I should have made them maybe like a little bit bigger, because the idea was to draw, like, obviously the prompt, I don't know if you can see it, but it's yandere. So I thought that this would be a really good thing to do, just like really creepy girl, have her have a knife, classic. But then I was gonna have like the guy's eyes like reflecting in the knife, but it kind of just looks like her knife is see-through. So could have done better on this one. I don't hate it, but it's also not one of my favorites. And this one was real lazy. So I had virtually no ideas when it came to this prompt. So obviously you can see at the top the prompt was siren, and I'm still like, I can't look at mermaids because of Mermaid from this year. So the idea of doing a siren was like, oh no. So I just did like a really lazy half body, stuck a tail out, and added music notes and was like, there, it's a siren. You guys really liked this one for some reason. I think it's because of the green ink that I have. It's really nice. It's actually tucked somewhere in here. It's this Bombay Green India ink, and you guys really liked this one, so guess I'll have to use that in some future projects, but this one was definitely a bit of a lazy one. So this is day 9, and this at the time was my most favorite drawing that I did. I planned this one out. It was meant to be like a thumbnail sketch in Procreate, because this was when I was like, all right, I'm starting to get burnt out. I was really, I did the sketch outline for day 2, and then I was kind of just trying to do them from scratch, and then I got to this one and I was like, I gotta start thumbnailing more. I can't stand doing these anymore without like sketching them out, so I'm gonna start doing that. And then this was meant to just be a little doodle. And then I really liked her face, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I ended up refining it like really, really tightly, like almost considered turning it into a painting tightly. And then I did the same thing that I did with day 2. I transferred it. I even blocked out the colors in Procreate beforehand. And I'm obsessed with this one. I really like her face. I think her eyes turned out really, really good. And just her expression in general, I really, really like. So again, this was day 9, eyes, and I really loved it. So this is day 10, and I don't hate this one. I think it's a little funny, but I just hate like his arm. I was trying to do like he's like chopping, but I neglected to sort of make sure there was enough room on the page to put his arm, and I'd already blocked out this in black ink, so I was like, this was a big mistake, but hopefully it reads as foreshortening. But I don't know why when I saw day 10 I just couldn't stop thinking about a vampire chef, and I kept thinking, I believe it's like the Ina Garden memes where she's like, oh, if you don't have like X ingredient, then store-bought is fine, and then people made like memes out of them, and I love that joke, so I thought I would do that, but with like a vampire and his poor victim. And I loved this one. Again, other than the arm, I thought it was really cute, and I think it's really funny. So yeah, there's day 10. Day 11 is another cop-outy one. As you can see, I didn't even draw hands. I was trying to force myself to draw hands for most of the days, but on day 11, I was literally so burnt out. I was like, I'm gonna draw Cinderella, I'm gonna slap some spiderwebs on it, and there we go. There's Old Tale, because Cinderella is a relatively old fairy tale. I don't hate it. I think her face is really cute. I think the dress is really cute. I just know I could have done more, maybe even added like a background or something. Could have added some of the rats in or something, but no, I just slapped some spiderwebs on it and called it good. So there is that one. And then day 12, this was the day after I saw It. So I waited years and years and years and years, not that many, 2 years, to watch It. So as you guys remember, I was going to, or I don't think it was the exact day after, but it was around the time I saw It. As you guys remember, I said that I was going to a friend's birthday party, and one of my other friends who was also going to be there said that they wanted to watch It Chapter 2. And I was like, I have not even seen the first movie yet, so I will go ahead and watch that before I go to the party. That way, when we go see It Chapter 2, I'm not confused. And then I got really into it. As you guys can see, I love Richie. He's one of my favorite characters, and he's my most favorite character, though, for reasons you will understand shortly. So, I drew Richie, obviously, and this was... I liked the idea of it overall, but mostly, after I finished it, I was like, it kind of looks like I'm trying to say video games cause violence, and this is not what it's about at all. If you haven't seen It Chapter 2, I will advise you now to go ahead and mute this until I get to the next prompt, but it's not about video games causing violence. It's about this scene in It Chapter 2 where Richie is at the arcade. He's playing video games, I think it was Street Fighter, with Henry Bauer's cousin. And then he basically gets, like, run out of the arcade because, like, obviously, like, Bowers is upset and he's, like, calling him, like, a bunch of slurs about being gay and stuff. So it wasn't about video games causing violence. It was more about him trying to repress his sexuality and stuff like that. So I drew a little old Nintendo console and I drew our sweet baby boy. And yeah, I love this one, but also it makes me really sad. Okay, so if you have seen it or have not seen It Chapter 2, feel free to unmute. You're fine. No more for now. So this was day 13. This was another quick one, but I really liked this one. Bite was something that was really hard for me to come up with a prompt idea for. So when I finally got the idea to do this like little short mini comic, I thought it was really cute. It's just a girl trying to eat some pumpkin pie. I know you can't really tell. It kind of looks like baby food carrots or something. It's supposed to be pumpkin pie, and then as she's about to eat it, her little kitty gets some, and I thought that was really cute. So there was day 13. And day 14, I'm so upset about this one. I really liked the sketch, again, that I did for it, but it just didn't translate well when it got into the sketchbook. This one was a little bit rushed also as I was making it, but I don't know, it didn't translate well, and I did the hands backwards, and I liked the overall idea I had for it. It just did not compute, and so I was really sad about this one, but it's still like an okay one to look at. I don't get upset when I see it, so that's good. Day 15, however, I get extremely upset when I look at. I hate it. I hate this one so much. This was another one where I sort of liked the idea. I wanted it to be like this old vintagey hand mirror and have a girl like looking into it, obviously, and I wanted to do like sepia tones and stuff to mimic like older like film and stuff like that, but after I did it, I was like, I hate this so much, I'm just gonna color her hair and we're gonna call it good because I needed to leave. So there was this one. I hate it. Let's move on. Day 16. Again, I told you guys I got really, really into it, and therefore I got really, really into Eddie Kaspbrak. So this was just a like stupid little doodle. The prompt was sewn, and I got the idea to have like sort of like this like just a normal black sweater that Richie would like embroider, and I said on the caption that Richie would tell him that it says boo, but if you look very closely, let me see if I can zoom in. How am I gonna get you guys in frame? Okay, it doesn't, there you go. So it doesn't say boo, it says boob. And that is, in my opinion, classic Richie. But yeah, I just had a lot of fun drawing Eddie. This was the first time I drew him and I was like, he's adorable and I'm gonna cry. So there is our sweet Eddie. And day 17, I kind of like this one, but also I kind of don't, just because this was another one that was really, not rushed per se, but it was like really cop-outy because I couldn't really, again, think of something that was really entertaining for this prompt. All I could think of was like, if you look to a lot of animes, so things like, Naruto and Black Butler, especially like a lot of the old classic ones, and I'm sure there are more, but my mind is blanking, and those are the only two I can think of at the moment, but you'll see lots of like cursed imagery involving like eyes and stuff, so I just did this basic little eyeball that was like a little bit different. It was based on some old contacts that I had, and then like a mark on her face to like signify like, hey, she's cursed. And that was that. Day 18, this is another one that I really liked the concept of, but wish that I did more to sort of make it more interesting, I guess you could say. It was Fallen, and so a little bit back you guys saw that I was, oh well, actually I don't think I've ever put anything about it on this channel. I got really into Good Omens a while ago, and I wanted to draw Crowley because he's sweet and I love him. And just like the whole, I've been reading a lot of like comics and stuff and just talking about, or how he talks about how he like fell. It hurts my feelings. So I wanted to draw a sad little Crowley, and in theory it's okay, but just so much of this page wasn't full, and this looks messy and his wings look messy, and it just is a mess, period. But I did like the concept. So day 19 was mega rushed. I don't even remember what I was doing this day, but I remember that I was out and about for a very long time. I think I was at my cousin's birthday, actually, and I had just gotten back from the end of it and was like, it's 8 p.m. I have not done my Inktober. What am I going to do? I saw the prompt was changed and I was like, it's e-boy time. And so here is our little e-boyish character. My husband's obsessed with him. He likes to call him Chemical. I guess that's his name now. So I hope you guys like him as much as my husband does. So day 20 is another one that I hate. Day 20 for a lot of reasons. It's another one where I was like, I loved the concept, and then I put it on paper and was like, this is horrendous. It kind of looks like her proportions are really off, and part of it is because they are, but another part of it is that I used red line art, and it is really hard to see red line art against red skin. I thought the line art was going to be a lot darker. I kept trying to go over it, over it, over it. I didn't have anything darker than that. I didn't want to do black, obviously, because she has so many pure black aspects to her character, so I was like, I'm virtually screwed, and I'm just gonna leave it how it is because I'm going to ruin it otherwise. I should have gone with like purple or something, but I was just ready to get day 20 over with. I was so frustrated with it at this point, but there is day 20. So day 21, I actually did on my live stream. It is To the Bone. It was originally intended to be day 20's prompt because day 20 was Burn, and as you can see, she's got fire hair. And once I saw that tomorrow's was To the Bone, I was like, I can't draw 2 skeletons 2 days in a row. That's not happening. So I pushed it aside and saved it for day 21. And like I said, I did this on my live stream. You guys helped me with the sketch. You helped me pick the flower and the colors, and also made me temporarily forget that I was not allowed to use blue during Inktober, but I did anyway because somehow I got it into my head like, oh, we should do blue to purple fire, and then I totally forgot that I wasn't allowed to use blue. So There was my first time breaking our palette, but I did really love how this drawing came out, especially the little bone hand. I don't think it's that terrible. I think it actually came out really cute. So there she is. Day 22 is another really quick one, but one that I actually kind of like. I really like how her expression turned out, and also her hair. I thought it was really cute. I wanted to make her have, obviously, like a pumpkin-y ball gown just because it was day 22 pumpkin, and my husband wanted me to do like a princess character. So I was like, okay, I'll give her a little pumpkin scrunchie and a little pumpkin dress, but I made it a little too fat, so it looks kind of weird, but it does sort of get the point across that it is a pumpkin. So there was day 22. Day 23 is another one that I also did on my live stream, and I'm obsessed with this drawing. It is probably maybe my favorite out of the entirety of Inktober. It's the one that I put the most effort into, and the one that, shockingly enough, because I had no ideas for this prompt until the minute I started the live stream. I was like, I have all of the ideas all of a sudden. I literally was dreading this prompt for days, and then once I got to it, I was like, everything's perfect. I know exactly what I'm doing. It came out really creepy. I loved the color scheme that I chose, and just everything about this drawing I really, really liked, so that surprised me, and it's still one of my favorites. So day 24 is one that was incredibly lazy, mostly because I was burnt out from yesterday's and I knew I had so little time left of Inktober to go. I was like, it's okay if I only do like one really easy Inktober. So it was hidden, and I was like, I'm gonna draw like a black cat, and that's gonna be it. I'm just gonna draw a black background and do a white outline and call it a kitty. And he's really cute, so I'm not too mad about it. So day 25 you guys saw for my Inktober like little speed paints to chill to video. I did this prompt just because it was another one that I sketched out beforehand and just used as a reference when I got to the actual filming of the video. But it was one of my favorite prompts. I don't want to say it's my favorite illustration just because I think I could have added more to it, but it is one that I tried a lot of new techniques for. So I experimented with like actual ink because, as you guys know, during the beginning of the month up until Simon, I was using watercolor instead of black ink, and that is actually what I used to do her face and all this other stuff. So I was really experimenting with like how ink lays down and how I can blend with it and sort of treat it as a watercolor but with it still being ink, and I had a lot of fun doing that. And then obviously I tried to splat my brush to make some blood, and I was holding like 5 gel pens at a time to do all of the glitter on her dress, so I had a lot of fun using her to experiment and also obviously filming. So day 26 is another really, really rushed prompt, but I did end up really liking it. So day 26 was Ghost, and while I did intend to have like so many other different little illustrations for this prompt, like something a little bit more spooky or perhaps like just more detailed, but I don't remember what happened this day, but I remember that it was another one where I was like, it's almost time for me to post and I have not done anything. So I drew a quick little ghost costume just because I had this headcanon that Eddie probably, oh, should have said this beforehand. This is Eddie, if you couldn't tell by the little Eddie K on his candy bag. I don't think he'd be allowed to trick or treat, so I imagine his costume every year would just be a little sheet ghost because it's the only thing he can manage to get his hands on without getting in trouble. So there he is, our little ghost candy boy, and I don't want to say I love it because it's really lazy, but because it's Eddie, I love it. So there is that, and back at it again with the it stuff. So this is day 27, it was Doppelganger. And I love, like, I've seen so many people do, like, the Kneebolt Kids AU, and I love it so much. I don't know why. It's just such a cute concept to me, and obviously I really like Kneebolt Richie, so I was like, day 27 would be the perfect time to do that because it's doppelganger. So I drew a regular Richie, which I was really lazy with just because I spent so much time on Kneebolt Richie. But I wanted it to be sort of like a mirror kind of thing, like Twins in the Shining. I wasn't sure if I should flip his bangs or not, and looking at it now that it's done, I kind of wish that I did. But overall, I still really liked the drawing. I messed up his shirt. This was supposed to be the light gray, and I don't know why I didn't think, oh, you can still color the pants dark gray. They'll just be dark. That's what I wanted. But I didn't think, oh, I can just color over the light gray that I put down. I'm a dingus. What can I say? But again, I really like how this one came out. I liked all the little ball joint details, and I like his little puppet hands, and I like his little wormy face, and I just think it's really cute. I like it. Day 28 was something. I was in a real mood when I did this one. I'm not gonna lie. It's sort of like vent art. I don't know what was going on. I was just in a bad mood. I drew 28, and I was like, it was originally gonna be something cool, like a hunter or like a Little Red Riding Hood sort of thing, because I have some hunter versions of her back when I was in high school. And then I got sad and was like, all right, here's this one. And yeah, I don't hate it. Obviously, I like the proportions, and I at least threw some hands in there. And the patterns on the arrows are cool, but it could have been more detailed. It could have been more interesting. But there it is. It's also kind of Christmassy because it's green and red, and I didn't really think that through until I finished it. But what can you do? So day 29 was another one of my favorites just because I really love The Legend of Zelda. I only recently got into it these past 3 years because I was one of the losers that didn't get into it until Breath of the Wild came out. And then I was like, oh wow, what have I been waiting for? And so yeah, I completely disregarded my no green rule, or not no green, my no blues and other rule for this prompt again, just because I was like, you know what? I already did it for the one day, and it's Legend of Zelda. I have to do it. So I did Breath of the Wild Link in his little blue tunic, and I did their eyes blue. And yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell on this phone, but on this camera, I mean, but I tried to do like a little black eye, and then I, you know, just added a bunch of little scrapey dapes and stuff because obviously day 29 is injured, and I tried to do a lot of little scrapes as much as I could for day 29. Okay, so now we are finally getting into the last 2 days of Inktober, and while I would love to say that by the end of the month I was like so well versed in ink, and I was so excited about the last 2 prompts, and I was just like so I guess like experienced and comfortable with using the materials now. I can't say that. I was so burnt out these last few days that the last 2 illustrations were just thrown together in the spirit of, oh my god, I'm almost done, thank god. So they're a little bit lazy. I don't hate to look at them. I do think the last 2 are relatively decent illustrations in and of themselves. They are just lazy as far as the prompt goes, and not too detailed as they could and should have been for the last few days. So day 30 was Heartless, and while I had originally tended to do like a humanoid Heartless like from Kingdom Hearts, I sketched it, I hated it, I wanted to be done, so I drew just this basic looking girl with a hole cut out of her chest and called that day 30. And the last one I found was very hard to get through. Bad Ending is a cool prompt for the end of the month. Obviously, it's the last day, and I wanted to do something really, really, really neat, but all I could think of was like a video game end screen, and it was like a bad ending for like a dating sim, and then I was like, what if the sim or the game in general was Inktober? So I made a little Inktober game over screen. As you can see, it's like a try again in a main menu type of thing, and I just sketched some basic like ink spitty girl and called that the last day. So I don't hate this illustration, obviously. I was just like really over the entirety of Inktober. I was ready to get it over with, And so I obviously, like I said, did the little game over screen. You can see the little main menu button, stuff like that. And I just threw some Halloween colors on there and called it good. So, would I recommend Inktober to anybody? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. I love Inktober, but what I will say is if you are a busy person like I was up until this year, I would recommend doing Inktober in a way that's more like feasible for you. So obviously there's like the challenge where you can do it every other day or once a week, I think, because it still gives you the aspect of not only being able to join Inktober like everybody else you see doing, but also you still get to push yourself even if it's not like every single day. The reason I completed Inktober this year is solely because I had the opportunity to work from home and therefore work every day on these Inktobers. So if you are in school or if you have a job outside and you're stressing out about having to do Inktober every day, you don't have to. Do it in a way that's fun for you. But overall, I would recommend doing it. It's really, really fun and I really enjoyed it. So before I get into thanking my patrons, I do want to say that I am doing a holiday sale November 1st through the end of the month. On all of my commissions, they're going to be a 25% discount. So if you'd like a chance to get your hands on one of my commissions, I'm not doing specific slot numbers, although I will probably cap it off at some point if I get a lot of orders. But if you want a commission, be sure to DM me on Instagram. That's where I'm going to be the most active, and I will be happy to do a commission. I'm getting really excited to do these. And yeah, so if you commission me, thank you very much. And while we are on the topic of thanking, I would like to thank my patrons. Elise Thompson, you are the best. I love you so, so much. Thank you guys for supporting me every single month. If you would like to be a patron and get some really cool prizes like tiled wallpapers, even more commission discounts, detailed illustrations, early releases for all of my videos, and your name at the end of every single video, make sure to go to my Patreon at patreon.com/SimonAESArts, and I will see y'all next Sunday. Bye.